Hey guys, this is the last review video of the year. This is the last video of the year. You have made it to the end of the year. I'm super proud. I love you. Okay, cool. So we're going to start now. All right, so we're going to start. We're just going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and then doing composition of functions. Okay, we're going to have composition with just numbers, and then we're going to have composition of functions with variables, okay? So you've got this. I know you do. I believe in you. I love you. You're wonderful. All right, so right here, we're going to just take these two functions. We're going to first plug in a number, and then we're going to try it without plugging in a number and seeing what we got. All right, so this first one, we're going to plug in a -3. So we're going to plug a -3 into both. So we're going to plug a -3 into this. So we've got -1 times -3 minus 42. And then on this one, we're going to have -3 minus 7. And we're going to add these two numbers together. So I'm actually just going to take my calculator, and I'm going to do -1 parenthesis -3 close parenthesis minus 42. And then I'm going to add, and then I'm going to do parentheses -3 close parentheses minus 7. And I get -49. How you feeling? You feeling okay? All right, on this next one, we're going to add them, but we're not going to plug anything in. So that's going to switch this up a little bit. So we're going to write our f function. So this will be my f function. And then I'm going to add my g function. So this will be my g function. So I've got -1x minus 42. And then over here, I'm going to have x minus 7. So I've got -1 plus 1. That's 0. Interesting. This doesn't normally happen, guys. Normally you get an equation. Okay, so I have 0x. And yes, I'm going to type the 0x because that doesn't normally happen. Okay, so we've got -42 and then -7. So -42 plus -7. If you know it already, write it down. If not, follow along with me. So -42 minus, that's not a 7. That's a 7. Okay, and we got -49. Interesting. So we've got 0x minus 49. So I'm just going to put that here. 0x minus 49. That's kind of cool. All right. Okay. So on this next one, it says, given the following function, find each of the values. So we've got 8x plus 7 and x plus 1. Perfect. All right. So we're going to take our handy dandy little pen here. I'm going to switch colors. Okay. We're going to plug in this -5 into the first equation. So we're going to have 8 times -5 plus 7. Okay. And then we're going to subtract this entire other function. So I'm going to put it all in parentheses. And then I would do parentheses -5 plus 1. So I pull out my handy dandy calculator, and I do 8 parenthesis -5 close parenthesis plus 7. And then I do, there's no 8. That would throw off my whole equation. There we go. And then I'm going to subtract, and then in parentheses, do parentheses -5 plus 1, and then close parentheses. And I get -29. If you do not put parentheses around that second equation, you will get the wrong answer every single time. All right, so on this next one, we're going to take our f function, and we're going to subtract our g function. So here's my f, here's my g. So my f function is 8x plus 7, and I'm subtracting x plus 1. So now the first thing I need to do is distribute this -1 through this problem. So I've got 8x plus 7 minus, and then -1 times x is -1x. -1 times 1 is a -1. So now all I need to do is combine like terms. So I've got an 8x minus 1x. That's 7x. And then I have a 7 minus 1. That's a positive 6. So I have 7x plus 6. All right, how you feeling? There's only 3 more problems left. 4. There's a number of problems left, and we're real close to the end. Okay, so here we're going to multiply the two functions together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plug in a number. So in this case, it's -5. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to plug in my -5. So this is 4 times -5 minus 3. I'm going to put that whole thing in parentheses because I'm going to multiply it by. And then this is going to be 3 times -5. So then I'm going to pull out my handy dandy calculator. Do 4, clear. parentheses 4, parentheses, -5, close parentheses, -3. And close parentheses again because it's the whole first equation. Now we're multiplying that by, and then I'm going to do parentheses, 3, parentheses, -5, close parentheses again, which I forgot to write on my paper. And then I hit enter, and I get 345. Whew, it's a pretty big number. All right, let's see what happens when we multiply them together. And again, I'm going to use my box just like I did on that last review that I did with these. So I'm going to take my 3x, and I'm going to multiply it by 4x minus 3. So 3x times 4x is 12x squared. Then 3x times -3 is a -9. There's nothing to combine, so this is just 12x squared minus 9. How you feeling? Hopefully you're okay. If not, rewind, watch again. All right, let's move down here to this division 1. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this -3. We're going to plug it in. So this becomes, I'm going to put it in parentheses because I'm going to be dividing. And I'm going to put this in parentheses. So this would be -4 in parentheses -3. And then on top, this is -5, parentheses -3, close parentheses, plus 4. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So I'm going to make that handy little fraction thing. So I do alpha y equals enter. On the top, I'm going to have parentheses -5, parentheses -3, plus 4. Oh, this should be a close parentheses plus 4, then close parentheses again. And then on the bottom, it should be parentheses -4, close parentheses, no, parentheses, -3, close parentheses, close parentheses. Then I hit enter, and I get the answer to be 19/12. So I do 19/12, and that's my answer. All right, on this last one, we're going to take that and we're going to do it out. So we've got -5x plus 4, and we're dividing by -4x. So we have to take this and we have to divide it between these two pieces. So we have -5x over -4x, and then we have plus 4 over 4x. So first thing I notice is a negative divided by negative is a positive. X divided by x is no x at all. So this just becomes 5/4. Then I'm going to do plus, and then 4 divided by 4 is 1 over x. Sorry, it should look more like this. 1 over x. So in preview, it would look like this. Okay? All right, that's all you had to do there. Hopefully you're doing okay. We did a ton of these before. Okay, this is composition of functions. So here, this means take the 9, we're going to plug it into G. And then we're going to take that, and we're going to plug it into F. Okay, so we're going to take our G function, we're going to plug in the 9. So we've got -3 times, every time I see an x, I put parentheses 9. So x squared plus 2 parentheses 9 plus 7. So I pull out my handy dandy calculator. I do -3 parentheses 9. That should say squared to the second. Okay, there we go. And then we do close parentheses squared plus 2 parentheses 9 close parentheses plus 7. And I hit enter, and I get -218. Oh, sorry. I put it in the wrong spot. So that's just G of 9. Was that 218? Yes. Okay, so now we're going to take this number and we're going to plug it into our f function. So now we have f of, and this is our -218, equals, and then 7, and then instead of x, I put -218. And then plus 1. So I pull out my handy dandy calculator. I do 7 parentheses -218 close parentheses plus 1. And I get -1525. So that's the first one. So now this other one has us going the other way. So we're going to plug the 7 into our f. And then we're going to take that and plug it into our g. So we've got our f. So we've got f of 7 equals 7 times 7 plus 1. We plug that into a calculator and we get 50. So now we're going to take this and we're going to plug it into our g function. So now it's going to be g of, and our 50. Okay, so then our g function looks a little more complicated. So this is going to equal, we've got -3, and then we've got parentheses, space for the 50, squared, plus 2, parentheses, space for the 50, plus 7. So I'm going to pull out my handy-dandy calculator and plug that whole thing in. So I've got -3, parentheses, 50, parentheses, squared, plus 2, parentheses, 50, plus 7. And I hit enter, and I get -7393. Feeling better? Hopefully you're feeling okay. I know those are really big numbers, but that doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means that we got really big numbers. All right, right here, we're going to have f of g of x, and then we're going to have g of f of x. So this first one, we're going to be plugging our g function into our f function. So that means we're going to take our g function and plug it into our f function. So we're going to have f of -7x plus 5 equals -2. And then instead of x, I put -7x plus 5 and minus 7. So then I distribute that -2. And I get 14x. -2 times 5 is -10. -2 times -7 is a positive 14. So now I combine like terms. And I have 14x, -10 plus 14 is a positive 4. So f of g of x is 14x plus 4. All right, so on this next one, we're going to take f of x and plug it into g. So we're going to have g of, and then we're going to take -2x minus 7. So we take this whole thing and plug it into our g function. So now we have -7 times -2x minus 7 plus 5. Then we take our -7 and we distribute. So -7 times -2 is a positive 14x. -7 times -7 is a positive 49. And then we just have the plus 5 at the end. So then we combine like terms, 49 plus 5, and we get 14x plus 54. So then I put 14x plus 54, and that's my final answer. And that's it. There's the last video of the end of the year. And I love you guys so much. You've so got this. You can totally take this test today or tomorrow or technically the next day. Just remember that today's the last day I'm assigning, well, tomorrow's the last day that I'm assigning anything new. Everything after that just needs to be in by June 5th, okay? And once it's in by June 5th, that's your final grade, and that is the end of this quarter. Love you guys so much.